y'all, happy President's Day. I'm planting potatoes. These are German butterball potatoes. Some potatoes are cut into large pieces, sulfured, and allowed to dry a couple of days before planting. These I'll plant whole. Valentine's Day and President's Day are target dates for planting potatoes here in Zone 8B. I'm using galvanized metal stock tanks with holes drilled into the bottoms, filled partway with a mixture of 1/3 coir, 1/2 coarse vermiculite, and 1/3 compost. Coir is the fiber from coconut husks. It's a renewable alternative to peat moss, whose sustainability is problematic. Coir absorbs water even better than peat moss. However, there's some evidence that plants may experience difficulty absorbing calcium. I hydrated the coir in a wheelbarrow until it was moist before blending it with the next two ingredients. Vermiculite is made from a mineral that is ground and heated till it pops into light particles that absorb water but also help the soil breathe. The compost contains decayed organic matter and aged cow manure. Seed sellers recommend planting seed potatoes 4 inches to 6 inches deep and spacing them 12 inches apart in rows that are 24 inches to 36 inches apart. In these containers, I'm spacing the seed potatoes about 12 inches apart in shallow holes and covering them with about 3 inches of growing medium. If you plant in ground, plant in well-drained sandy loam, loamy sand, or sandy clay loam with a pH between 6 and 7.8. A&M AgriLife Extension, a source of reliable garden information, recommends adding in a complete fertilizer, like a 1959. So today is March 13th, and we're going to go check out and see if we've got any green showing in our potatoes. There is! Look at that! Almost all of them are showing a little bit of green above the soil. Let's look at the other container. Yep. Looks like 3 of them. So once they get a little bit bigger, I'll begin to mound the soil around the stems and keep doing that as they grow. It's been 75 days since I planted these potatoes. You can see that they're not doing very well. The leaves are curled up. I'm not sure what's causing the problem with the potatoes. There are no bugs on it. I can't find any disease that matches the characteristics. I think maybe it's underwatering. Maybe I'm not watering enough. Maybe I'm not giving them enough nutrition. That's what I suspect at this point. These are the potatoes that I planted just kind of as a one-off because I had a couple of extra when I was planting them in the containers. And they're doing really beautifully. I've just added a bunch of mulch on the bottom, maybe 3 inches over everything, because I saw that there were some tiny little baby potatoes near the surface. So I haven't added any extra soil or anything, just that mulch. Well, it's day 100 since we have planted the potatoes, and the garden's changed a lot. The potatoes have been through a lot, but it does not look as if they're ready. They have new growth that's beautiful, which seems to make it clear that the earlier problems that I had were bugs, and I think they were leafhoppers. Put some mulch down on it. I don't feel anything. Ooh, I do. I feel a little potato, but it's very little. Let's see. See it? All right, I'm gonna cover all this back up. This is the second patch of potatoes. This is how it looks on day 100. It's the end of June and it's 131 days after I first planted these potatoes. I brought a big basket, so I'm really optimistic. All right, let's see what we find. Ooh, there's a baby. There's a baby. Look, that's the first one. So it's a success. Ooh, look, more potatoes. Look, look, look. Ha! Potatoes. Wow, cool. Look. Oh, I love this. Look at all the teeny baby ones that could have been potatoes. I wonder if I had left, well, no, because the vines are dead. You know, I was terrible about feeding and watering, and I bet if I had been better, I would have gotten a better harvest. But this is phenomenal already. Look, a real potato. Look, another one. This is nice light soil. Ah, more potatoes. Look! It's like Easter egg hunting, only way better. This is only the second time I've ever tried to grow potatoes. Ooh, there are more. The first time was at the community garden in Austin, which has beautiful, rich, organic soil, and everything is easy to grow there. Out here, I'm just building soil as I go. Potatoes. Look, look. This is just a miracle. It is a miracle that you can put a little seed potato in the ground and then come back 131 days later and have a sack of potatoes. Look at these, look at these. This is just marvelous. Marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. Wow, I'm really curious to see how this is going to compare with the potatoes that we planted in the water tanks, because they're still green, they're still growing 131 days later. I wonder if they're just going to be all green and no potato, or if they're going to outdo this, because I planted way more potatoes in there than I did in this whole patch. This is my happy place. Oh, yay. All right, I'm going to call that done. Okay. It is later in the evening. It's almost sunset on the evening of the 131st day after planting these potatoes. And I just wanted to show you how green they are and how lush they are. They suffered so much earlier in the season, but they're doing really well right now. So I'm wondering, are there really potatoes under here? Is it just green growth? I guess I will let them go until they start dying, and I'll wait till about 2 weeks after they start dying, and we'll see if there are any potatoes. Good morning. It's July 14th. It's 148 days since we first planted the potatoes. We're going to go see if we have potatoes. can even do this. I can't. Alright, I guess I will just start digging this out. Cross your fingers. Got some little tiny babies here. There we go. We're getting little ones, not big ones like we did up front. So this container, I was very negligent about watering. I was negligent about feeding. But I was negligent about watering and feeding the ones up front too, so ha ha ha. Some of these are rotted. This is rotted. It's gross. Ew. But some of them are just fine. Lots of little babies. Wow. If these had grown up to be adult, mature potatoes, that would be a lot of potatoes. I do like how efficient this is to harvest. Not quite the squeal factory that the other one was. Down to the very bottom, and it's pretty moist at the very bottom. Somewhat moist, I guess. But the potatoes don't go all the way to the bottom. That's interesting. Oh, I'm lying. Here's one right here. All right, let's try the next one. Let's see if I can do this one. Let's see what our fortune holds. Look at that. That's just so cool. All right, well, let's look at what we've got. These are the potatoes harvested from the 3 that were planted in ground. Compare them to the same basket filled with potatoes harvested out of the stock tanks, about the same volume, but in this basket there are more potatoes that are much smaller. Some of the stock tank potatoes were misshapen or rotten. This didn't occur to the potatoes that were planted in the ground. And while the in-ground potatoes were rather uniform in size, this photo shows the difference in size of the stock tank potatoes.